Welcome back to another episode of the Todd Durkin Impact Show. And I hope you are having a super day today. I hope it's off to an awesome start. I hope you are as excited as I am for this upcoming week. I have a very special episode for you today. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this right now, sitting on the banks of Lake Norman, North Carolina, as I record this today. And I got to admit to you, I'm especially sentimental and emotional today. And there's a lot of reasons why. Number one, my son Luke, who is in his senior year of college playing football, they have back-to-back home games, so I decided to hang here in beautiful Lake Norman and do some podcasting and some work here this week, and hence this episode today. And I'm excited to share that with you, and hopefully you can feel a little different energy today, a little different vibe as I'm relaxing here and enjoying life and doing some writing and strategy time. We're just a few weeks away from our retreat here in Montana, November 14th to the 17th, and I'm excited. But really why I'm emotional and sentimental today is it is my mom, Muffy Durkin's 92nd birthday as this drops on October 29th. She turns 92 years young on October 29th, and mom's down in Florida, resting up, and I want to celebrate her today with you, my community, my podcast community. And I want to dedicate this episode to her, and I want to share some things about my mom, who is one of the most loving people I know, of all people I know. And I think there's some lessons in here that I can share that will speak to you, regardless of whether you're a parent, you're someone who yearns to do good in the world. But there's some really important lessons because my mom's aging, and she's 92, and she's slowing down. And my family right now, I've got 7 siblings, 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and it's like a revolving door of who's on the support team because she needs round-the-clock health care. And I've shared mom over the years with you. One thing I shared is mom's a pack rat. Mom loves to shit. Mom keeps everything. I think I inherited that bad gene from her because I don't like to throw things out either. It drives my wife, Melanie, absolutely crazy. I'm like, this is a good thing. This is one of the traits I got from my loving mom. And she just shakes her head and laughs. But, you know, I got to tell you, I really am grateful that my mom doesn't throw stuff out, because part of today's episode is going to be something that one of my siblings and my niece just found at my mom's place down in Orlando that stemmed from many, many moons ago. And while I've joked about being a pack rat, my mom, she doesn't throw away anything sentimental. Never has, never will. And today is one of those days that I want to share something with you that literally was just sent to me a few days ago. I was watching Luke play against this team that he just played against called Stetson, which just so happens to be based in Orlando, Florida, Stetson University. They were playing at Davidson. And during the game, I got a text from one of my family members, and she shared with me a birthday note that I wrote to my mom many years ago. So I have 3 things today. Primarily, I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share the birthday letter I wrote to my mom in 1986, by the way. I was just 15 years old on that. I want to share the best thing my mom ever did for me and my family. She did something really incredible once that I want to share as I celebrate my mom today, and you celebrate along with me. This is a celebration, but I promise you, there's a couple learning lessons as well. And I'm going to also share a fitting close at the very end of this episode that you are not going to want to miss, because it is part of a conversation that I had with my mom once on a podcast a few years back when she was in a state where she was as chipper as ever. And well, she's not as chipper these days, and I take every day don't take it for granted, but I take every day as an opportunity to be grateful that mom is still here and with us. And that's why today is going to be an emotional episode. So without further ado, let's dive in to episode 390 today, all about Momma Durkin, her 92nd birthday, and something to remember. So let's go there right now. All right, so what we have here today is something really, really special because I'm sitting here in Lake Norman. I was thinking earlier this morning, I was sitting on the dock out there and I was thinking about my three kids, Luke, Brady, McKenna, 21, 19, and 16. All three of them somehow are going to end up in North Carolina for college. Luke's at Davidson, Brady's at High Point. McKenna just committed to play lacrosse at High Point University, although she doesn't go there for another 2 years because she's a junior in high school. But my soul fuel message that just dropped last week, the soul fuel message that dropped in my DOD, Dose of Durkin, it says, train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he shall not depart from it. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he shall not depart from it. Now, that's Proverbs 22. And I was thinking about my mom and the way she raised me as one of eight kids. I'm the youngest of eight kids. Let me repeat. I'm the youngest of eight kids, and I have five sisters. Yes, five sisters. Love y'all. But a great, great big family. And today, as we dive into the three things, first and foremost, I want to celebrate my mom's 92nd birthday. Can I get a huge round of applause for Mama Muffy Durkin? Yeah, that's right. Mom is so darn special, and last week on the podcast you listened in, one of the questions that came in from a young gentleman named Andrew Barnes, he's just 18 years old. He said, hey, if you could do it all over again and go back and be my age, what would you do differently? And while I'd always say not to worry as much about what other people think, what I shared on last week's episode in that specific question was that I would have loved on my mom and dad even more. Even more. I would have never turned down the opportunity to, hold their hand or give them a hug. Or sometimes when you're a kid, you're a little embarrassed to, give your dad or your mom a hug and kiss in front of everyone. And I never really was, but I would have done it even more. And the interesting thing that I want to read you right now is a message that was just sent to me from my family member, my sister and my niece, who shared this with me. And I was astounded at the age of 16. Age 16, I wrote my mom a birthday note. And I'm going to read this note because it's really interesting when I received it just a few days ago, what this note said and how applicable it is. And here it is. It says October 29th, 1986. And this is from me to my mom. Mom, I hope your wishes are fulfilled and dreams attained. You are so deserving for something very special. I don't exactly know what the one thing might be, but I promise you that we can both keep striving for it. And when we do reach it, we'll know it. What it is uncertain, but something down the road is in your way, and it will be good. You deserve it, Mom. Who puts up with Karen and me and still cooks a great dinner? Karen's my sister closest in age. Who works her tail off during the day and then has to come home and do something other than sit back and relax. Who comes to support me at all my games, and then she's still there to add a smile at the end of the night. Who has time for this? Certainly not you. You need a break, Mom, and hopefully quite soon. We'll both incidentally or accidentally find that obstacle in our road course, and it will be a rainbow that puts out all sorts of good things. Just remember, though, your day is coming, and best of all, it's coming soon. Smile. I love you. We're in it together. TD. That's my message to my mom. October 29th, 1986. I believe that's 37 years ago. Interesting enough, they also sent me a text of the follow up note that I'll need to post on my social media because it's a picture of a pot of gold. And I don't know what's coming out of it or going into it, but it says, "We are in it together. We will find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow." Mm. And it's just a picture, a little drawing. I'm the world's worst artist. And um, I have a note here, which was always on a note of like a pharmaceutical. They always had these notes. And here's what it says: 10/29, 1986, 9:56 p.m. So it's October 29th, 1986, 9:56 p.m. Mom, good night. I hope your day was great and full of what you expected. Although right now I didn't get you anything. I didn't get you anything. It will be made up. But most importantly, I love you, TD. Hmm. I hope your day was great and full of what you expected. Although right now I didn't get you anything, it will be made up. But most importantly, I love you. And then we're in it together. We'll find the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. At age 16, writing that to my mom, I guess even then I had that burning desire to help my mom. And I don't know if any of you can relate to this, but growing up with not a lot of money, and my mom was a single mom, raised 8 kids, literally raised 8 kids. When my mom and dad got divorced, I was just 5 years old, and dad moved away for the better part of 5 years and wasn't in my life very much. My mom raised us. And I always knew deep down that someday when I make it, I'm going to buy my mom a house or I'm going to do this for my mom. Has anyone ever done that? You hear these athletes sometimes they buy their parents a car, their mom or dad a car or a house or something. And I always had that dream and desire to do that for my mom. And it's interesting when I look back having that feeling at age 16 of what that's like to really say, hey, what can I do to help my mom and what's it going to be? That was 37 years ago, guys. 37 years ago, just 16. Year was 1986. My mom would have been 55 years old. 55. And the crazy part is I think about Melanie and me just about that same age. My daughter is 16. So McKenna, start writing those notes, right? Like write those notes, kiddos, write those notes to your parents because man, my mom never threw it away. And thank God she didn't, because I got to tell you, I've read that note now 10 times between when I received that just 4 days ago and thinking about where my mom is at today. But I want to say, Mom, happy birthday. Happy 92nd birthday. And why my note to my mom is a little bit different than 37 years ago. And since age 55 to now 92 for my mom, um, I always talk about live a life worth telling a story about what's your story. I wrote the Wow book many moons ago, and in the Wow book, I shared the eight reasons how I and why I love my mom so much. And when you really think about these different traits of your parents, of what makes your mom or your dad so special. I think about, Wow 29. Those of you who read the Wow book, it was all my mom. And there's 8 traits. It was number one is grateful. 2, my mom epitomizes persistence. And I was writing about my mom. 3 is radiant. She's radiance. 4 is positive. Man, my mom is the most positive person you can meet. Like there's nothing that could happen and my mom gets flustered. She's just constantly optimistic and positive. And she always say, if you don't have something nice to say about someone, then don't say it. Mom is loving, right? My mom is a loving woman, selfless. Parents, can you understand that about being selfless and what it means to be selfless? My mom's adventurous. She loves to travel. My mom loved taking cruises and that. And then number 8 is grateful, just grateful. I'm so grateful for my mom and all that she is and all that she has done for us as well. And speaking of cruising and travel and adventure, I want to move to my second point now. So, Mom, happy birthday to you, 92. Number two of my three is I want to talk about commitment, sacrifice, hard work, and unconditional love. Hey, parents, I know y'all have those traits as well. You have to. If you're a parent, you've got to have those. It's just inherent. You got to come. But when I was reflecting on my own mom's experience as she celebrates her birthday this week, and please reach out if I share something on the 29th. If you're listening the day before on the 29th, the day after, so is just to reach out and maybe post some love for Mama Durkin. But commitment. I think of my mom's commitment. I think of the laundry she did every darn night after practice. Every night. I played three sports in high school for 4 years. Um, I'm talking football, basketball, and baseball. They didn't have lacrosse. So, man, the amount of laundry and dishes that she had to do because I ate like a house is crazy. The commitment that parents have is just unbelievable. And mom epitomized that. Hard work, hard work. And I know Mama Durkin worked full time as a private duty nurse. She raised eight kids, and much of it as a single mom, right? And then I also think of sacrifice, of what it takes to sacrifice um, on that. And the sacrifices, here's what I want to share. Number two about this is, when I was just about 23 years old, I was playing professional football in Europe. And I was playing in Germany. My first year was in Germany. And my mom's long term client as a private duty nurse, her name was Betty Medcalf. She passed away and left my mom a good sum of money, $25,000. Now, $25,000 in that day was a lot of money. Heck, it's a lot of money these days. But my mom didn't have a lot of money. And when you think about $25,000 of what that could get you now, what would you do with it? And you think about it then, I believe that year was 1990, right around 1994. What would you do with that? Well, my mom decided that instead of taking that money and buying a car or buying something, she wanted her whole family to go on a cruise for a week. 23 people. My mom took every cent that she had of the 25,000 and took 23 of us, I believe the number was 23 in our direct family at that time, on a cruise to Bermuda, a week-long cruise. Now, the funny part is this. I was playing professional football in Germany, and when I was negotiating my contract, the only stipulation I asked for was I needed a week off in the middle of the season because I'm going on a cruise with my mom and my family on that. And they approved it. They approved me flying from Germany back to New York to take a cruise for a week to Bermuda. My friends, that was one amazing time and shows my mom's level of commitment and her sacrifice to think about unconditional love. Man, oh man. So, mom, I'll never forget what you did for our entire family. And I think about, hey, if I inherited $25,000, what would I do with it? What would you do with it? What would you do with $25,000? Right. And then I think about unconditional love. I mean, just to go beyond that, a year after that, I blew up my back playing professional football in Europe. And I was in France. My mom just so happened to be there when it happened. And she helped me for the better part of, well, I'll say the first almost week because she had to fly home and I was getting treatments. But she was always there. She was there, heck, in 2018, guys, when I had my first knee replacement in 2018. She flew out then, and she's in her mid 80s, and she's cooking meals and bringing me ice and just being the mom that she is. Um, Mom provided for us kids, all eight of us, and our family never complained and just loved and loved and loved. And I think of that cruise. It's the best thing she ever did for us. It's the best thing. Why? It wasn't because necessarily that was the $25,000 she spent. It was because all of us were together for 7 days and you couldn't escape. You couldn't go over the ship and like, I'm out of here. Nope. Everyone's cooped up on a ship for 7 days. And she just wanted our time. That's all she wanted was everyone together in the immediate family and spouses and a few nephews and nieces at the time. We weren't fully grown out by that point. But here's my question number two: what would you do if you were handed $25,000 or you were gifted or you inherited $25,000? What would you do? I mean, how would you spend that money? How would you spend it? What would you spend it on? Who would you spend it on? Would you, I don't know, would you pay off debt? Would you invest it? Would you give it away? Like, I don't know. What is it? I always like the 50-50 now. Like I'm thinking 50-50 when I earn a certain amount, I'm take 50% and invest it, and 50% I'm going to do what I do with it, whatever that is. But she took 100% of that money and invested it in her family, not in a 401k or an IRA or any other, fund, whatever was big in 1994. And what would you do? Would you give it all away? I don't know. You know what else I think of? I think is what if you, okay, I asked you the question like, what if you were handed or gifted $25,000? Here's my other question. What if you could be the one gifting and blessing someone else with $25,000? What if that was you handing someone that has worked for you $25,000 because you came across a significant windfall of revenue or money and you're like, you know what? I'm going to gift a few people this. How would that feel? What could you do for someone else's life if you did that because you were gifted that? That's the mindset that I want you to have right now as you listen in is, hey, it's always nice to receive. But what if you created enough to gift it away, to give it away? And you can even think right now as you're out for a walk or you're working out, like, hey man, what could I do? What could I create that if I create enough revenue or profit in my business, I could tithe 10% of it and give $25,000 away, right? I'm not going to go into the tithing thing. That's separate, but man. So here's my questions for you. A number two to wrap number two in a bow. What are a few of your fondest memories of your mom or your dad? For me, it's my mom's birthday this week, so I'm celebrating my mom. And when you think of the fondest memories of your parents, how do you best exhibit those traits now as a parent? And if you're not a parent, that's okay. Then maybe how do you exhibit them as a mentor? I'm sure you mentor other people, or how do you exhibit them as a friend or a colleague at work? How do you display your best traits? Or how can you even better display these traits and characteristics? What can you do to amplify and really bring this out to make other people even better? Right? Like, think about that. And how can you demonstrate even more commitment? More commitment. I think of my mom and the commitment she had to us. Like maybe the commitment could be, heck, I'm doing it right now this week with Luke, is I'm going to his practice tonight, football practice. He's a senior in college. Now, normally practices are closed. I'm going. Why? It might be the only practice or the last practice I ever get to see him practice again. See, it's not always about the game. Maybe parents, we can show up practices. My father used to show up at all my practices in high school like that. It's practice. It wasn't about him showing up at practice. It was the mere fact that he was showing up. How can we show up more for our kids or for those who we love? The rehearsals, the training sessions. Maybe your kid or your loved one is training with a trainer right now, and you're just going to go show up and support, right? It's not just about the games. To me, that's commitment. It's showing up. And Listen, I know everyone works hard, but my question to you in here is like, is there anything else that you could do to work even harder or smarter or sacrifice even more? And I'm not saying you have to pick up a second or third job to work harder, but working harder could mean working smarter, which could mean how do you work smarter? It could mean maybe you need to hire a financial advisor to guide you to save more money or create more money for your family. You're like, Todd, no, I'm not making any money. I'm not making enough money. That's why you would hire an advisor. I always laugh when someone says, I can't hire a personal trainer. I'm not in shape. I need to get in shape to come to someone like you. I'm like, no, that's what we do. That's what trainers do. Like, same thing with a financial advisor. You go when you need help, not, hey, let me get my finances right and then I'll go to an advisor. Let me get my health right and then I'll go to a trainer. No, you go when you need help. And maybe you're at desperate straits financially or with your health. Get a therapist, get a counselor, get a personal trainer or your financial advisor, whatever area you need the most help in, do it. Don't wait and say, I got to get this right. Well, it's maybe been years you've been in this situation. Like, I don't know, you go to a financial advisor on the financial side, it could mean that you need to create your will or even your estate plan. Do it. Do it. Let's not wait. Oh, it's not going to happen to me. We got people in our 50s and 60s. It doesn't even matter how old one is. Create a will and your estate plan. I used to think like an estate plan. I don't have an estate. Like estate seems like you've got this, all this property and all this wealth. No, 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 no. Your estate is everything that's part of you. So maybe you do that. Working smarter means not just working harder. Sure, you got to work your tail off, but how can we work smarter? It could mean maybe you need to pick up some life insurance so that God forbid something ever happens to you, your family's protected. I'm not here to advise you on money. We'll save that to the other experts in that area. And I've got a few that have already been on this podcast. But when it comes to working smarter, how can you work smarter? And answer that question, look in the mirror and say, I need help in this area of my life, right? What can you do to work even smarter and even harder? Very, very important. And the last part to number 2 is, how can you show even more unconditional love? Just the small things that you get nothing in return for and you don't want anything in return for. I'm so happy that my mom is a pack rat and she saved that note and that letter that I sent her or gave to her on October 29th, 1986. Um, you know, the unconditional love and you do these things and you got to do it. Ultimately, it's going to be worth way more than $25,000. Way more than $25,000. $25,000 then was probably, I don't even know, $75,000 today. I don't even know when you look at inflation, the cost of inflation. We'll let our financial experts do that. But think about it. It's worth way more than even the money aspect is. My question here, number 2, is just let's make sure that your commitment, sacrifice, hard work, and your unconditional love ratchets up, not only this week, but till the end of this year into 2025, and that we're raring to go on all levels. And the last thing I want to share today is this. And I need you to know this. And I shared it with my mom in 1986. And I ended that letter with this. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. I need you to know right now that your day is coming. Can you please repeat after me right now? Is my day is coming. My day is coming. And a matter of fact, as I'm speaking here for the next couple minutes, just keep saying, my day is coming, T. My day is coming. We got this, baby. Like, I want your vernacular to repeat. Your mindset, your brain is saying, my day is coming. It's coming. Because isn't it refreshing that when you say, my day is coming, that you just hear there is a frequency and a vibration that happens when you remind yourself that your day is coming. It's invigorating, it's motivating, it's empowering when you say, my day is coming. You say it over and over again. So what is it that you dream of? What is it that you desire? Is it wealth and money? Then say it again and say it again. Is it your health and your happiness? Then say it again. My day is coming. My day is coming. And you keep working your tail off for it. Is it time with your family and you're taking trips and vacations, or you're attending practices along with the games? Say it again. My day is coming. My day is coming. We got this. My day is coming, like a broken record over and over again. My day is coming. Is it restoring relationships in your life that potentially have been deteriorating and they're maybe even gone and they're hanging on by a thread? Maybe it's a marriage. Maybe it's something with your kids. You say it, my day is coming. That day can be today. You declare it right now that today is the day. My day is coming. That day could be today, but you're working your tail off today to make sure that you know your day is coming. Because let me tell you, just like mom in 1986, as a 16-year-old child, reminding my mom is, your day is coming, mama. Your day is coming. Your day is coming. Is it being blessed beyond favor? And you know that there's a day that everything you're working for is going to come to fruition? You bet your bottom dollar that your day is coming. Blessed beyond favor. And you say it again and again and again. My day is coming. My day is coming. My day is coming. My friends, your day is coming. And I want to say thank you and God bless you. Thank you for letting me share today. This was special for me because as I look to my right out here, I can see Lake Norman off to my right, and I'm here all week to celebrate not only my mom's birthday this week, as she turns 92, but I'm here to celebrate my son, Luke. And my dad would be doing the same thing if he was alive when I was a senior in college. He wasn't. And you can bet your bottom dollar the reason why I'm showing up to these games these days is because this is it. This is it. I don't have a second chance to be a good dad. And I'm excited to go to practice tonight. I'm excited to be here all week and spend time with him because sooner or later he's going to be graduated and off to his next adventure. And parents, I know how hard it can be sometimes that you sacrifice the convenience for going home and doing your work and that, and you gotta stay, you gotta travel and you gotta put out expenses and all this stuff. Your day is coming. Remember that you keep proliferating good in all you do. And I want to say thank you and God bless you. Mom, happy birthday. I'm so excited for your 92nd birthday. Hopefully you made it through this entire podcast, Momma Durkin. And as a matter of fact, if each of you can just stick around, Momma Durkin, we've got a very special close to today's episode. Without further ado, until next time, train hard, eat right, live inspired, and happy birthday, Momma Durkin.
Since he was a young boy, he would be doing something special. And I tell him to this day, though, you better behave yourself, or I'm going to chase you around the table again and crack another wooden spoon over your backside. It was easier for him to get away from me, but I really never hurt him that bad. Seriously, I'm proud of him and love listening to every podcast episode. Keep creating impact, Todd.
Wow. I always love hearing that little blurb from Mama. Her voice will never, ever, ever get old, and I am so grateful I captured that on audio a couple years ago. So thank you, Mom Durkin, and thank you for each of you for being here today and listening to today's episode with my mom. We are products of our parents, and I'm so grateful that Mom has blessed 8 of us kids with who she is. And there is not a day that I talk to her where I'm not like, man, is this going to be my last conversation with her? I know this is that every single opportunity with your kids, your spouses meaning each of you who listen in, we don't have multiple spouses, is that your spouse, it is an opportunity every darn day to make sure that we stay in great gratitude with all that we have and who's in our life. So God bless you. Have an incredible day. I can't believe that November is here this week. We got Halloween. We got November coming up. We got the Montana retreat coming up. It's soon going to be strategy time coming up. But I hope you have an amazing week. Thank you for being you. Thank you for all the 5-star ratings and the reviews you're writing on Apple. If you have not yet done it, please go give us a 5-star rating and write a review. It really helps the Todd Durkin Impact Show podcast so that we can continue to deliver great content for you. Until next time, guys, God bless y'all, and I'll see you real soon. Peace.